God Almighty has triumphed me over the evils in America. When fighting, one must always consider the moral code. Always. Whether you are a wrestler trying to maintain a weight, you are a precision striker, built like a Shaolin warrior, more often than not, you are a UFC fighter, concerned with weight as well, focusing on strength and brute force. One must always consider one's body and one's mind, as well as the soul, which must be intact. When the soul is intact because the morality is correct, the body and mind are intact. Psychologically, if you will, mentally, you know that something is wrong mentally when you've done something wrong or you're doing something wrong. And that takes away, from your ability to achieve effective battlefield prowess and optimum battlefield efficiency. So your efficacy needs to be considered. Wisdom must be applied. The fool makes a foolish mistake and is killed. The drunk, perceptive man makes a foolish mistake and is killed. The perceptive man puts up a good fight and is killed. The wise man kills them all. My friends, war is not a game. Sports are. By all means, enjoy your sports. Give your great athletes their credit. Absolutely. Give your great wrestlers their credit. That's why they get dressed up in the first place. That's why the UFC fighters are dressed in a way that is similar to many wrestlers. Give them all their credit. That's entertainment. That's great. But when it comes to tradition and going to war and training to kill your enemy first, he who rises above all else must be given more credit by the insightful minds. Let the masses of the people think what they wish. They'll love their athletes, their basketball players, their football stars. It's their choice. As long as they truly have a choice, then it's fair. In other words, if they are not truly informed, if they're confused about reality and are kind of subtly coerced into living a lie, living in the illusion, it starts costing good men so much. They start offending God, and good men cannot maneuver through society in the respectable, powerful manner that they should be allowed to. That is the problem here. So let's just focus on the careful observers, shall we? The people who look at people like me with admiration and say, you know what, that guy cannot be beaten. He's living in reality. Actions speak louder. The movement. People who give credit where it's due. Let those people give me my motherfucking credit. They couldn't beat me at the most effective form of battlefield training. Sparring. The most effective form of battlefield, real-time strategizing, and applications, demonstrations of applications of transferable skills. Nobody can. It's not just them. I'm not putting them on blast like picking on a bunch of little kindergartners or something. Nobody in the history of this nation could beat Chukwu and Mecca. And I say that with all arrogance and all pride aside for now. Nobody. I am a proud man, but I'm putting it aside right now. Nobody can beat me. When it's time to use martial arts for what it is meant for, nobody can beat me. Many a man is stronger than I am. Many a man is more flexible than I am. Many a martial artist has better form when it comes to entertaining. But since my form mixed with my natural animal rage, if you will, is more effective than their form mixed with their strategy, therefore my form serves my purposes for actual combat application. Actual combat. More than their form serves theirs. For that same reason, the flexibility. Everything that I have together as a skill, wit, agility, defense, technique, form, everything I have pushed together in the exact amounts it is and mixed with my mind has allowed me to conquer them all. So no matter what criticisms you have, you're really just complimenting me. You're saying, well, I don't like the way he does this move, for example. If a dumbass was to say some stupid shit. Well, imagine what your argument basically is this guy's beating everybody and everyone's hiding from his challenge. Even though he does this move that way. So your challenge is what your argument, your statement is implying, what the commenter and the wise mind together would infer, is that this man would be fucking even greater if he did it the way I think he should do it. Which still puts me at the top. People need to get your stories straight before you fucking insult me. I'm a great warrior. I deserve my rightful place. Put my money where my mouth is. Thousands of dollars, 20 G's at one point. Briefly, but at one point. 10 G's, 4, 3. And I told you from the start I was right. I gave you a deadline. I patiently waited for it to come, just to increase the likelihood that people would accept sooner. And also, I had mixed feelings about when I should retire. Kind of getting old, it's taking its toll on my lungs. It is taking up its toll. It's taking its toll on my brain and everything else, my coordination. Anyway. They still couldn't beat me. Now, I'm not criticizing them. They're probably good at what they do. I don't know. There's a lot of them. But I'm the best. And what is sad is that I have to say this stuff. You gotta realize a lot of these people who pretend, who live in the illusion, they have all these people on TV, all these commercials, all this stuff is constantly reinforcing the misconception in the minds of the average person. The mind of the average person that those people are the best. But I am actually the fucking best. You put us on the battlefield with a spear and a shield. I'm taking them out. The sword, I'm taking them out. With a knife, I'm taking them out. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying I enjoy it or something. I wouldn't enjoy it, depending on how much they've upset me. But even then, it's painful. Might get cut badly. Might take a blow or two. It's the process itself of stabbing somebody, even when you're adrenaline punching. It can cause slight injuries. So what do I get out of it? You stab someone as much force as I do. I mean, I would, excuse me. What do I get out of it? I have to be consistent with the accompanying moral code. It's priceless. It's like who you are. It's like the person who hates gays more than the most in the world, for example, being told, well, I'll give you $1 million to bend over. I doubt he would. Because that's just hate. Now imagine sacredness, divinity. A man who values that more than anyone else in the world. That man is me. So when it comes to just senseless violence, that is taboo. The capoeiristas and the capoeiras had it correct. And it goes back to just African warfare in general, where there was many a skirmish. It was so commonly understood that even in the Shaka Zulu series, I believe in the late 80s or early 90s, whenever it came out, they have examples of how Shaka Zulu increased and intensified the warfare in that region of Africa, South Africa, Southern Africa, rather. You think about that. I think about Nigerians. If you did a DNA sample, I guarantee you that many, many Africans, Americans, perhaps most of them, have Nigerian DNA. Something like, I forgot how many, it was over 1 million. It was a lot of Nigerians came to America and South America, North and South America, Hispaniola, what have you, during the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. So when you look at a lot of these, great boxers and fighters who are black or African American, they often have Igbo blood. It's one of the tribes that rings the loudest when it comes to fighting and combat. Always has been the Igbo. And I'm not racist. I don't think people should consider race first and foremost or something. But I just tell it how it is, There's some tribes that are known as great warriors for those who have done their martial arts research. If you've really looked at it globally. Now, there's some countries that I don't know too much about their specific martial arts ways and cultures and histories, But I think it's fair to say that you need to understand the importance of Igbo in the martial arts world, the importance of Biafra, the bite of Biafra, Calabar, the slave trade, and how it brought African Igbos and their minds. They were in a situation where they had to use their brains to come up with a martial art, one martial art to rule them all. A very similar situation that I'm in. And to do it in spite of the oppressor.